Can you guys like my comment on Moist's video? I'm scared. Oh. Uh-oh. Emily, you're supposed to do this in your secret discords using your mods so that nobody knows that you're trying to fucking vote brigade. Uh-oh. Well, also, it's on YouTube. I have so... There's a part of me that's like, you shouldn't do stuff like this, but bro, everybody... I'm not trying to fucking jerk myself out, but I feel like I might be the only content creator on the fucking planet that doesn't bot every single one of his fucking social media platforms. It's insane. It's so crazy. I cannot explain the gulf of an engagement between people's follower counts, and the engagement they get on their tweets. It's just crazy. Or where their fans even exist at, or whether or not on other platforms, whatever. Yeah, it's insane.
The LSF guys like, oh.
I do it for you. You don't have any viewers. I am every single viewer, Giga Chad. True.
Is you backing up? You were on their website. What do you like? I don't understand why that's not like registering.
But then the LSF guys like, oh yeah, extra Emily totally like backs it. I'm like, I just do what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so I don't know what's happening, but for now, just like put this like put on the side. Okay, so I will get more information on it and then let you guys know. So yeah, but I promise I'm like not trying to scam you guys. I apologize. I didn't do more research beforehand. But I'm gonna have them do more research.
Like, this ending part was okay. She should have just said that. Right? I accepted a sponsorship from my talent agency. I didn't realize that there were not okay things about the sponsorship. I'm canceling it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, that probably would have been okay. I wonder what the talent agency tells their talent when they throw them under the bus like this in public, though. I'm curious what their statements are.
Research.
Then she'll keep them updated on all of that. Again, they are saying you're backing it up because you did promote it. You were on their website as one of the...
Can I make sure your hair colors will be matched? No. Wait, what do you mean? Okay.
XQCL.
How do I give him some cool That's cool. Maybe I give him a hat? Chad, do I give him a hat or not? Maybe a hat like this? Yo, what about a backwards hat? Yo, this is a him. It's he, him. Because I think these are all really bad hats. I'm gonna say how it is. I don't like them. I'm gonna use instead. I'm gonna use. Oh, that's hardcore. Maybe with some glasses too? Wait, hold on. Wait, maybe I can give a cool out chat. Maybe I can kind of make him look cool. Hold on. No. No. That's just Ezreal. Let me cook. Let me cook, man. I kind of like that. Ezreal, hello? The lead character? Hello?
You are all having a good day. Night, if not, I hope it gets better. XQCL.
What is wrong with this chat, dude? Okay, how about? Nah, guys, is it not a proper hat for maybe a researcher? Guys, Indiana Jones, he has a hat that goes in the cavern. Like, what the fuck am I talking about? I'm done. I'm just gonna use
Dress to impress Felicia.
Shut up. Okay, maybe I give him some drip. Because I want to remove his stupid fucking suit. Which I remove his suit. Hold on. Everybody needs to hold on. That's nice. What's up with the legs, man? Gosh darn it. What the fuck are those? I mean, these pets are awful, man. This is not right. This is so cap.
This is the type of merch rat Senate is gonna.
Yo, who's? Hey, chat. Who's donating this? This is. I can't anymore. This has to stop. Okay, this is hard stuff. This is actually harder. This is.
Jo, Freunde der absoluten Dummheit.
Ja, es ist wieder Zeit für so ein Video.
Denn in diesem Video geht es wieder um Shoyoka. Die hat nämlich mal wieder komplett reingeschissen, hat unter anderem auch wieder über mich gesprochen. Hab dich auch lieb. Dazu hat sie auch noch eine Auseinandersetzung mit Manuel Ostermann. Der soll mal seine Eier suchen. Checkt ihr? Wegen Ostermann? Ostern? Tut mir leid. Shoyoka hatte nämlich in
might appeal to the wealthy,
But my argument is not that Donald Trump is a perfect user of rhetoric or that his other candidates are perfect using in their rhetoric. But I'm arguing that the reason why I support the candidate more than the opposition is because the opposition, while yeah, sure, maybe rhetorically is better off, their ideology is radically different and in direct opposition to
I don't even know what ideology
like,
Trump has. You can't even
Harris,
point to a consistent ideology from Trump.
You can't go. You don't think there's big ideological differences between him and Kamala?
I don't know what. I can't even say the ideology. Can you give me one consistent policy position that Donald Trump has had?
Believes that all illegal immigrants should be deported.
Okay, that's a big position that he's had in this administration. Although they're fucking up horribly at doing any mass deportations. His first term in office, they didn't really focus on it that much. Like the illegal immigration was growing in his administration until year 4 when COVID happened.
Yeah, I mean, well, he hadn't been as focused on the problem, but it's definitely always been ideologically viewed as bad. Like, do you not believe that matched with his ideology always, that he believes that to be negative?
No, not all the time, right? They had talks with, like, didn't he have that big thing where he came out and he was like, well, we're not going to enforce this as much with, like, farmers and hotels or whatever, because they were getting a whole bunch of complaints from certain states who were saying, like, hey, we're going to get fucked really hard in these sectors if you guys...
Well, I guess here's a better way to put how I feel about it. It's not necessarily that it's like he's super consistent on it, but Kamala is consistently, like, oppositional almost. Like, there was never really much rhetoric about trying to work on the problem.
They had a piece of legislation to do it. They had a bill to do it. Which is way more
sufficient at all, and would have led to a bigger problem down the road.
But it wouldn't have, right? It would have largely fixed the asylum problem. You're just dead wrong there.
No.
You just don't. You should read the bill. You don't know the facts. You just have no idea. That's just not true. It would have been a real solution.
It allows a minimum.
What?
It allows a minimum of crossings.
It's not a minimum. That's a maximum. The maximum before was infinity.
Or sorry, a maximum. But it allows not a minimum, but it allows a bar below the maximum, which is inherently accepted.
There's always gonna but you have some people cross. You deport them. What do you mean? It's not like they accept illegal immigrants. It was how many asylum seekers could come through to be adjudicated.
Do you earnestly? What do you think Kamala Harris's solution to the problem of mass immigration would have been?
The solution would have been to multiply the funding to 3, I think it was 3 times the amount of asylum judges. It would have been to increase funding and security for the border, real funding and security, not painting the fucking fence black like the retarded fucks in office right now did. And then it would have been...
Clearly the security seems to be working if the crossings are so low, but I guess...
Well, I can't... The problem is I can't believe any of the numbers from the current administration, because I know it's not 0. You know it's not 0. So both of us agree they're lying about that, right? So that's already bullshit. We've already seen them do things like, oops, we don't have the October jobs report, LOL, right? So we already know that they'll lie when the numbers don't support their case. Okay, and then 3, I'm sure that there is probably less illegal immigration. There's less of every immigration because Trump is fucking up this country in like 50 million different ways. I don't know how much that supports the argument. But all I'm saying is regardless of any success he's had, there would have been more with an actual piece of legislation that would have actually done something for the border. It would have been a real solution, not the virtue signal one, because I don't think conservatives actually give a fuck about illegal immigration. I don't think it's as big a problem as they say it is.
I totally disagree. I think that obviously the policy is attempting to move in this direction. Maybe there actually could have been more solution, but only because he wouldn't have been as impeded as he is currently by all of the opposition who does not want. They don't.
If that's the case, then it's still a failing of his as the leader of the country. If it was an actual problem, then I would say the conservatives should be super mad.
The problem and having people oppose him is a failure because he wants to solve the problem and they don't.
5.
Is that why they're opposing him?
3.
Yes.
2.
I don't think they want. I do not.
Wait. You say that again. So they're only opposing Trump because he wants to deport illegal immigrants. That's the only reason?
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I'm saying that they're opposing him on illegal immigration because I do not believe that they share the interest of
close. Try again. Keep going. Why are they opposing? We went over this whole thing before. I think it's the videos from Kristi Noem. I think it's the video of fucking Alligator Alcatraz selling merchandise from it. I think it's
do you think it's all rhetoric? Okay, so
yes,
do you
I think most of it is. Yes.
Earnestly, you think it's all rhetoric, and you don't think there's an ideological disagreements where Trump thinks that we should be deporting people, and Kamala does not.
I don't think that there is as much daylight between the two parties as Trump makes it out.
That's not an answer, though. That's not an answer, though. I mean, that's. Do you believe
what
that's
is
a
not an answer?
problem that Kamala cares about?
Yes. They were talking about immigration, and they were talking about, even under Biden's term, what was the fucking meme statement? She's like, do not come. Do not come. Yes, they were talking about it for the Biden administration.
Were they doing a good job? Were they doing like an active, like intense job on it?
No, but because they didn't have the funding for it, because the laws on the books were fucking them. Because if somebody comes in and claims asylum, you have to let them in, you give them a fucking slip, and they sit the country somewhere until their adjudication date comes up. And there was a bigger backlog for the adjudication of these cases for the asylum judges than there ever had been in U.S. history. Because as soon as COVID ended...
We can talk Trump all the time for methodology, but it seems as though Trump is doing a far better job at reaching that end. Like, I can say all the rhetoric is bad, all of these things, but at the end of the day, I'm an American who lives in my daily life, and I know that by consequence of Trump's efforts, the illegal immigration problem is being solved far more than it was under the Biden administration.
It's not, though.
There was not.
Do you agree when he said there were 30 million? He said there were 30 million illegals here, right? He said 30 million came under Biden, and they've deported, if we take their numbers for it, 2 million. So it's 28 million more people.
How many did Biden deport? How many did Biden
No, I'm not talking about Biden. You're talking about Trump, okay? There are 30 million that came under Biden, and he's deported...
It's a comparison. The topic is comparison.
Well, the comparison would be with the border bill that Trump shot down. So that would be what we compare it to.
Okay, well, minus the bill, was Biden trying to do a good job?
Minus the bill. The bill is how you do it.
You think he was banking on the bill? That was his only effort. He really wanted.
It was a comprehensive approach, yeah. As opposed to just trying to do everything via executive order.
He proposed it right at the end of the administration as a consolation prize to more moderates.
The bill had been worked on for years. This was a Senate-written bill for immigration stuff.
Okay, but you don't believe that Joe Biden did a bad job about handling illegal immigration.
I think he could have done a better job, but I mean, like, he came in under COVID. We had Israel and Ukraine. Like, there was a whole bunch of fucking shit going on in the world. We were fighting inflation the whole time.
So much more, too. I mean, but
no, hold on, wait. That's not true. There was nothing going on in the world under Trump. He's the one who came in and started fucking everything up. There were no new wars starting. Now we're at war with fucking Venezuela. We weren't bombing Iran. Now we're bombing Iran. Okay, we weren't terrorizing the entire fucking world. Now we're terrorizing the entire fucking world. We weren't like blowing up random fucking ships in the ocean. Now we're blowing up random ships. None of this stuff was happening until Trump came into office, and now it's all happening now. He's bombed like 9 countries in the past year.
That's such a different topic, but either way, I don't believe that because there were other stuff going on under Biden, it excuses Biden not working to combat one of the bigger problems.
It wasn't a bigger problem. The huge problem was affordability and inflation. And then, like, the crazy international war stuff that was also influencing affordability and inflation. These were the huge problems. Immigration is only a huge problem. Illegal immigration is only a huge problem. No. No, I know it's not. I know it's not. I know it's not. You know, I know it's not an important issue, even to conservatives, because if it was, all of you would be fucking furious that Trump has failed fucking miserably for no reason in addressing the problem.
I wish you could see me talk about this regularly, because I genuinely am.
Okay. Then you should say every day how irritated you are that Trump made an enemy out of every city. Because if you wanted to get rid of illegal immigrants, there are so many easier things that Trump could have done that would have made Democrats look so fucking retarded trying to oppose him on it.
Which pieces of Trump? I mean, which pieces of most of Trump's intervention efforts? I also am not too interested in either. I mean, I'm not like a diehard. Like I understand the conception is like I'm a conservative and I think Trump is better, so I love Trump. That's not the case. And while I do believe, and the reason why I contest a lot of your positions is that I do believe that you take a far more hardline anti-Trump position than I would, there are many areas, the failure to successfully deport as many people as I think should be, is a big sticking point for me. However, I am significantly more in favor of it than what I see as barely any or to zero effort as was happening under the Biden administration. I don't
Except
see
a comprehensive bill that would have completely addressed the asylum problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But set a precedent that some people should be allowed at some point.
No, there's no bill. When you say that, do you think the bill is saying we should allow illegal immigrants?
Well, it said it reduced the amount of border encounters that were like, I guess.
For people that could claim asylum, those people still have to be adjudicated. They're not just automatically granted asylum. They go to an asylum judge. But the issue is the judges were backed up after COVID, so it was the catch and release thing. They give them a slip and they've got to come to their court date in a month or whatever, or 2 or 7.
Yeah, well, either way, off the bill, I honestly, I would love, I at one point I knew more about it, and I feel bad that if I would have known it would have gone here, I would have looked back more into it, but the main thing that bothers me about the comparison is, like, yeah, of course, this is one bill, but yet Trump, there's not the bill passed, and yet Trump has had a really way more successful job at dealing with the problem than Biden has. Do you not agree with that?
I don't even know if that's true. I don't know who deported more people between Trump or Biden. I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know who's.
Partisan denialism.
It's not partisan denialism. I do know that if I really cared,
Biden's rhetoric about illegal immigrants.
I don't know if the self-deportations are good. If there were 1 million people here who would have lost their asylum case because they came here for bullshit reasons, and the administration said, we'll give you $1,000 or $2,000 to leave, and they're like, oh, fuck, hell yeah. And now we've just fucking shit out, $2 billion to people that shouldn't have fucking been here in the first place. Why would I think that's a good deal? The problem would have been better spent on just having more asylum judges. You would have spent less money. You would have rewarded them for fucking coming to the country illegally under bullshit pretense, and then send them back to whatever fucking country to come back legally again if they wanted to. Because part of that self-deportation,
the monetary impact is so low. The monetary impact is pretty low in the grand scheme of things. I think when it comes to resolving the problem.
But the problem's not resolved.
For like 2 million people, it is. That's a big percentage, right?
Well, if somebody puts a knife in you 6 inches and pulls out 2 inches of it, is the problem solved? Would you say, well, yeah, 2 inches are not in me anymore?
Yeah, 2 inches, the problem is solved, yeah. Would you rather have a knife in your heart or have a knife, like, by your heart? I would definitely prefer the latter.
By your heart? You mean in your heart or partially in your heart? What are you talking about? Is it more gay or less gay to be fucked by 6 inches of dick or 4 inches of dick? What are you talking? What do you mean? He said there were 30. No, he said there were 30 million that came in under Biden, and by their own numbers, he's only gotten rid of 2. That's a failure. It's a binary fucking failure.
Are we arguing that reduction of the problem is not better than the solution, or is not a part of the solution? Because it factually is.
No, because the border bill would have solved it more. The border bill would have solved more.
Okay, we can't say, okay, Trump deported a large amount of people, and yet all these people who came in under Biden. Okay, well, we're going to be sitting here, we're going to be down on Trump because Trump hasn't fixed Biden's problem in the first year. How is
He's not going to fix it anymore. Hold on, wait.
A conservative, that's an indictment of Trump, but not from a leftist.
There will be no bill passed on the border. And this will be the highest year for deportations. I know those two things are absolutely true.
I would be very disappointed if there was no border bill passed.
Okay, there won't be.
And I will publicly, I can promise you, listen, this is one thing about me, and this is like, I get very annoyed with the radical partisan MAGA people who just
hold on. Nothing that you're about to say, nothing about what you're going to say matters because of 2 reasons. Yeah, you're going to publicly criticize him afterwards, even though we all knew that he was going to be fucking ass on the fucking border anyway. Number 1, and number 2, you'll absolutely support either the next Republican or nobody, guaranteed, no matter what. So it doesn't matter what your strong position publicly is. It doesn't matter. You're always going to vote for the next Republican.
Wait, how is it dismissive of the fact that I'm willing to criticize Trump where he fails if I'm not willing to take that leap and support a Democrat who's oppositional to my ideology?
Because then the criticism doesn't matter. They know they're going to get your vote anyway. They don't care. Why the fuck would I care? If I was a politician and you were criticizing me, why the fuck would I care? You're not going to...
like primaries?
Yeah?
Candidate criticism does matter.
Oh, so in the primaries, were you more supportive of Trump or of DeSantis or of the other lady? Fuck, I forgot her name.
Haley?
Yeah, Nikki Haley. You were supportive of Trump?
In the primary,
yeah.
Initially I wasn't very supportive of Trump in the primary.
Initially you weren't, but you were eventually. You were. I don't know what weird hedge that was, but you supported Trump in the primary,
To be honest, it's tricky because I'm a younger person. My ideology has changed in some ways since then. In the moment I was, but looking back now, I think it's a tricky question.
Okay.
But there's an evolution in some ways there. But I don't know, like in general, it's not about like worshiping Trump and Trump is great. I don't have to. I can say there's problems with a candidate and then still say that they're better than the opposition, which is like radically against my ideology. Like having a D on your name isn't the reason why I'm never going to vote for it. What the reasoning is because Democrat candidates believe in Democrat ideology, which is just fully opposed to mine in almost every way. Not in every way. Actually, economically, I'm not really too. Yeah, I'm definitely more moderate economically, but like I don't know. In most ways, far opposed to mine. I don't see how that pivot represents like sort of a bad faith criticism or failure to pivot. Sorry.
Are you are you in fake? Oh, okay. I don't think you have any major policy disagreements with Trump. I don't believe that. Can you name any? I'm just curious. The biggest one, not random stuff. But what's the biggest policy disagreement you have with Donald Trump besides Israel? Sorry.
I think the Iranian. Besides Israel, okay, I was gonna say the Iranian nuclear strikes.
Yeah.
I think that I think that talking about long-term Venezuelan occupation could be very negative. I think regime change is a really scary thing and a really like a really turbulent thing to just assume it's gonna go right. And I think it's very scary to see someone like confidently say that we can just sit, maintain the area. Like I would have preferred to see a more solid plan, and I would have preferred to see.
Okay, how is it then? How do I because I'm just scrolling. I'm just curious, or whatever, right? And I see you saying on January 3rd, this sets a great example to dictators all over the world when Donald Trump strikes Venezuela. You quote tweet the Department of Homeland Security about Venezuela, and you're like, now this is epic. And you're tweeting out like, me want oil. How is this like not supportive of?
Like corny Twitter. Okay, I mean, it's not that I don't support the initial attack, but I don't support the occupation.
Wasn't the whole point of the attack to occupy and take the oil afterwards?
Do you have to occupy and take the oil?
Well, how are you going to take it all in one helicopter ride?
But we get the difference between that and what Trump is saying, right?
I don't know how you take oil without long-term occupation. Explain it to me. My understanding, and I might just be retarded, is I thought you would have to stand up long-term oil extraction and then refinement plants and then secure shipping routes and everything else.
Oil is a meme. I just thought it was funny because we're taking oil. Like,
yeah, but like you can't. He's not gonna get. We're not gonna get any oil from Venezuela because we can't. That requires like years or decade of like long-term capex investment, like all sorts of stuff that we're not gonna do. How would you take oil without some kind of occupation?
Oh, I don't know. I just said we want oil. It's kind of like the reason I support the attack is not because of oil. I think it's just because Maduro is a narco-terrorist.
Okay.
And that's a meme. Me want oil. I thought it was funny.
Okay. You weren't supportive of Trump's rhetoric then when he was saying like no new wars, right? You were like, oh, I disagree with Trump on this. Like we definitely need to have more wars.
No, I agree with the no new wars. I think that just having a specific strike is different than having a war, though. I mean, we can demonstrate the difference, right?
No.
Do you think we are at war with Iran right now?
In a way, yes. Or we were,
No.
yeah. You think you can bomb countries and it's not considered what is it? What would we call it? A special military operation, or?
No, and not the Putin thing. No, it's just different. I mean, objectively, we did not experience warlike consequences with our Iranian strike, despite how I somewhat disagree with it in a lot of ways. But
was the Iraq War a war? Since we didn't really experience many consequences for that. For just the deposing of Saddam Hussein? This is like before you were even born, maybe. Sorry.
When I say no new wars, I mean I think it's obviously there's times where response can be justified for war, but I don't support like war efforts or engaging in war efforts. But I also think it's just a rhetorical strategy. But yeah, I support that.
If the president were to invade and try to capture Greenland, would you support that?
Probably not. No.
What are you weighing here to say probably not?
It would be the way it's done. Like whether it's what type of invasion it is. My policy for all of this stuff is whether or not it's just clearly beneficial for America. And I think in the case of Maduro's strike or Maduro's capture, presently it seems to be beneficial. But obviously, I'm sure that there's ways to contest that. I guess I wouldn't be foolproof to qualify that. But specifically, I think that it's this is more conversational than hardline, but I think that if the Greenland invasion was done in a certain way, maybe I'd support it. But like presently, every way that I see it going down, it seems to me like it would be a negative thing. But it depends on the rationality of it in some ways.
Do you think that if the European Union were to send if the EU were to send some assassin, fucking some Jason Bourne type character to assassinate Donald Trump, do you agree that that would probably be justified from their perspective?
The UN to send like someone to assassinate Trump?
Or the EU or whatever?
No. I don't think.
If Donald Trump is talking about invading a sovereign piece of land owned by a European nation, why would that not be justified? If you're saying it was justified for us to kill, or I'm sorry, not kill, but to capture Maduro, why would it not be justified for the European Union to do something like this to protect their interests?
Because we're not like a terrorist trying to destroy other countries.
What would you call capturing Greenland illegally from them and stealing it?
Yeah, that would be negative. I mean, there would be reason for them to be oppositional to that. Obviously, it's a direct attack.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
why?
not- it's
So
not
would they not have?
interest, yeah.
You don't think they would have some moral right or have some justification to try to assassinate the U.S. Leader there in that case?
Yeah, if you're at war with someone, generally you're comfortable like assassinating them. But that's very different though. Like it's like. I
Okay,
don't
so
know,
if
I-
the
these are
United States
hypotheticals
starts
where-
sending
to be
boats-
fully frank, these are hypotheticals. Like if this did happen, it would take a few days for me to think about it. I'd have to read through everything. Speaking off the top of my head, I have not devoted much thought to how I would feel if Trump invaded Greenland.
Okay. Isn't it worth thinking about since he keeps talking about it over and over again, and we just showed that the president of the United States is
I
willing
don't
to
think it's gonna
unilaterally? Okay,
I don't
but
think it's
he
gonna
just
happen.
deposed the
I'm
leader of
mulling it
another
over.
state
I've
for
been
no
giving
reason,
it some
right?
thought, But what'd you say?
I mean, he just like on his own unilaterally from the White House just deposed the leader of a foreign state. So I don't know why it would be that crazy to think that he couldn't do Greenland next.
It's a pretty big leap, right?
No, it's a much further leap to go from not doing anything to getting rid of Maduro
you
like
don't
that.
think you don't think that annexation is a big leap from like a deposition?
Not as much as the leap from not doing it to Maduro is. The leap from Maduro to Greenland
Yeah,
is
that's not
much
the
shorter than
argument,
the leap from where we are to Maduro.
Yeah, that's not an argument against it. That's not an argument that's gonna happen. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, we're closer to that direction, but I guess this is something where I'd prefer not to take a hardline stance on it because I want to truthfully, I'd like to learn more about it. I'm not hard partisan about it, but I'd like to see what the cost benefit would be, and I don't even know if the information is here right now to do that.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, any other topics you want to float over?
Can I ask you a question? Wait, sorry, can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
This is unrelated to political or like partisan really, so maybe boring. But what do you think about universal basic income?
Not a big fan of it. I feel like every time I see a new paper come out or a new study, it just doesn't seem to do what people want it to do. I think there's a way to implement it in some ways where I'd be okay with it, like to reduce the cost of some federal programs, but as it stands right now with the way people think about it, it seems like it just doesn't have very good results.
Do you think like the kind of conversation around like I've seen a lot of this from like Elon Musk and people like that, where it's like as AI rises to a certain level, people will have to income will have to be supplemented obviously through like a universal high income or whatever. Would you consider even like a universal high income program to be like a positive or a negative?
I'd have to see how it's implemented, but if Elon Musk said it, there's a good chance that probably the opposite is true because I guess fucking retarded, so I'm not sure. There's something called the lump of labor fallacy, where people assume that once some level of automation occurs, that nobody's going to have work. But the thing is that once people get more stuff, they always want more and more and more stuff. So there's always like a greater demand. So humans just tend to shift into other jobs. Now, some people theorize that some kind of general AI or stronger AIs are actually going to cause a thing to happen where there's less work to be had and people legitimately don't have jobs to work. I don't know if that happens. We're entering like a whole new economic era that nobody's prepared for before, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's very concerning. I really do not like UBI. I think it's like very bad and like a big threat to like a human life. But well, I guess I'll let you get back to the stream and everything. I appreciate you bringing me on. Thank you very much.
Wait, I'm just curious. Why do you think UBI is a huge threat to human life? Or
Oh,
whatever?
sorry. So I think like the main like I guess what makes human life I guess pleasurable I think is like going through the process of like achievement. Like I think that's by far the most important thing for human psyche. Like I think it's almost hard to even simulate that. Like I think if people don't directly go through the process of like achieving the means by which they are like in some ways physically fulfilled, I think it's really bad for long-term psychological development. I think you see that in people who have like really high amounts of like inheritance. I think you see that in a lot of different scenarios. But I think it threatens like the identity of like a human inherently.
Okay. All right. Well.
Gotcha. Well, just thought that was interesting. But appreciate you having me on. Happy to talk about that ice shoe in Minnesota. And thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate the conversation. Be careful. Bye.
Take care.
Leute, was geht? Herzlich willkommen hier zurück zu einer neuen Folge Frag Kuchen mit mir, Kuchen TV. Ja, erstmal vielen lieben Dank an die ganzen Fragen, die ihr in die Kommentare gestellt habt bei der nächsten Folge. Es wäre auch hier wieder nice, wenn ihr die Fragen für die nächste Folge nochmal in die Kommentare schreiben könntet. Also generell, dass eigentlich jede Folge müsst ihr neue Fragen raushauen. Und genau, heute habe ich gar nicht so viel zu sagen. Ich bin einfach seit 7 Uhr wach, weil Timo ist ja nach bei Braunschweig zurückgezogen. Und der ist heute allerdings noch in Hamburg, weil seine Freundin noch den Umzug macht. Die muss ja auch, oder ist auch aus der Wohnung raus. Und deswegen muss ich mich heute darum kümmern, dass das Internet angeschlossen wird. Ja, und wie Telekom natürlich so ist, ne? Termin zwischen 7:30 Uhr und 12 oder was das ist. Deswegen musste ich jetzt schon im Büro sein. Wir ziehen durch. Ich habe heute auch nicht so viel Zeit, weil ich in einer Stunde beim Arzt sein muss. Ich wollte mal Blut abnehmen lassen. Einfach mal die Werte checken, kann ich euch auch empfehlen. Einfach mal so ein Check-up machen, irgendwie einmal im Jahr, ob halt wirklich alles in Ordnung ist. Und wir kommen damit auch schon zur ersten Frage. Und zwar von Marietto. Die gibt mir nämlich hier ein kleines Creator Quickfire. Und ich sage euch jetzt, wer von diesen Leuten ich mehr mag. So, die erste ist Alicia Joe versus Sascha. Ja, hier bin ich wirklich lange am Überlegen gewesen, was ich jetzt sage. Ich muss aber tatsächlich zugeben, glaube ich, dass Alicia Joe hier tatsächlich mein Favorit ist. Ich finde, bei Alicia Joe ist halt das Coole, die macht ja wirklich super aufgearbeitete Videos, auch mit Studien und so weiter. Also die versucht sich schon wirklich, sage ich mal, in so ein Thema reinzulesen und dann auch wirklich so Fakten rauszuhauen. Und das macht die wirklich halt sehr, sehr gut, muss man sagen. Bei ihr ist halt das Ding, ich gucke ja die Videos tatsächlich gar nicht so aktiv, weil es halt auch einfach größtenteils Themen sind, die mich jetzt persönlich einfach nicht so abholen. Ja, also wenn ich mal so gucke, gut, ist Deutschland am Ende, damit will ich mich gar nicht befassen. Bro, wirklich, das ist so, man kann sich das halt nicht mehr geben, was hier mit Deutschland alles passiert, kein Bock auf schlechte Laune oder auch, warum dein Kind ein Handy bekommt, aber reiche Kinder nicht. Bruder, was juckt mich das? Ja, also ich denke auch, reiche Kinder werden an Medien hängen, davon mal jetzt abgesehen. Oder ne, was passiert mit den Männern in Hollywood? Das sind halt so Themen, die cool aufgearbeitet sind, die jetzt aber nicht persönlich so meinem Themengebiet einfach entsprechen. Deswegen gucke ich da die Videos nicht so häufig, ne, obwohl ihr Video zu Haftbefehl vor 2 Monaten, die macht jetzt nicht so viele Videos, wobei jetzt gerade zieht sie wieder durch. Jetzt ist ja aber auch Januar, ne, da sind die Einnahmen am höchsten. Das Video über Haftbefehl war tatsächlich sehr, sehr stark. Das habe ich zum Beispiel aufgesogen, wie ein Schwamm die Wasserflüssigkeit aufsaugt. Und die Videos sind aber einfach top. So, da kann man eigentlich nicht viel sagen, außer der einzige Kritikpunkt wäre, es ist mir manchmal so zu langweilig vorgetragen. So, wisst ihr, wie ich meine? Ich war ja zum Beispiel so ein Jakob, wobei der natürlich übertreibt, dass mal ein Meme eingeblendet wird, es wird mal ein Joke gemacht. Und bei Alicia Joe fühlt sich das halt so an, als wenn das so eine Präsentation in der Uni wäre. Es ist natürlich alles top, was sie sagt, aber das ist halt dann gerade für mich, das ist einfach nur meine persönliche Meinung, dann manchmal ein bisschen zu langweilig. Es ist ja bei Just Nero auch ein bisschen ähnlich, ne, dass der, gut, wobei da ist es ein anderer Grund, aber der kommt immer nicht so auf den Punkt. Weißt du, da geht so ein Video, was halt 20 Minuten gehen könnte, auf einmal 40. So, und du sitzt dann so in der Reaction und denkst dir so, ja, ich weiß schon, was du sagen willst, sag es jetzt einfach, Bro. Sag nicht noch 3 komische Anglizismen, sag einfach, was du sagen möchtest. Deswegen finde ich Alicia persönlich besser. Bei Sascha ist halt das Ding, ich habe ja gestern auf Sascha reagiert. Ich weiß nicht, wer von den Eikuchen-Zuschauern auch meine Streams guckt oder die Reactions, aber ich muss sagen, also das ist jetzt so kein Front an Sascha so, ne? Aber ich check halt gar nicht, warum die so eine riesen Reichweite hat. Das ist so wunderlich. Es wird 2026 Beef gegen Sascha geben und ich kann nicht gewinnen, weil die ja per se nichts falsch macht, Digga. Es ist wirklich schlimm. Die hat nämlich ein Video hochgeladen gehabt. Nessie verzweifelt in Love, wenn Fans zu Content werden. Und zwar ging es darum, dass Nessie macht jetzt so eine Dating-Show, da können sich Zuschauerinnen bewerben, denn sie ist lesbisch und da möchte sie eine neue Partnerin finden und das wird dann so eine richtige Dating-Show, die auch mit einem Team, was Kamera und so weiter macht, ich habe gerade den Namen vergessen, was das Ganze filmt und dann wird das halt hochgeladen und so weiter. Und das Video geht halt 19 Minuten und ich habe gestern darauf reagiert und 5-mal sagt sie genau exakt das Gleiche und zwar ja parasoziale Bindung. Also wirklich, das war nicht so, dass sie noch einen anderen Aspekt davon genannt hat, sondern sie sagt 5-mal genau das Gleiche. Dann wurde 4-mal gesagt, ja, aber der Vertrag, der ist lebenslänglich, musst du deine Rechte abgeben und das ist ganz, ganz schlimm. Und auch andere Dinge, die ich gerade nicht mehr im Kopf habe, wurden 4- oder 5-mal wiederholt. Und das ist mir generell bei den Videos so krass aufgefallen in letzter Zeit. So, ich habe das Gefühl, ihre Videos fühlen sich an wie so Glückskekssprüche. So, sie sagt, also das auch hier natürlich wieder das Gleiche. Sascha sagt größtenteils, also fast alle Videos von ihr sind gut so an sich, ne? aber sie wiederholt eigentlich immer nur das Gleiche. Also ich wette, wenn David Dragomirovic mal ihre ganzen Videos irgendwie auf diese anderen Plattformen hochlädt, wo man dann nach Untertiteln irgendwie gucken kann. Ich glaube, es gibt 30 Videos oder so, in der sie 1:1 jedes Mal sowas sagt, wie ja, glaubt Influencer nicht alles oder so, wenn es wieder um irgendein Placement oder sowas geht. Also ne, klar, per se ist es natürlich auch der gleiche Aufhänger, das checke ich halt schon. Aber also man versucht es auch gar nicht so anders zu sagen, sondern ich habe so das Gefühl, Sascha hat so eine Liste zu Hause, da stehen dann so 10 Sätze und die werden dann in jedem Video einfach so neu angeordnet. Also so fühlt sich das Ganze ehrlicherweise so ein bisschen an. Ne, zum Beispiel auch bei diesem Nessie Love Video habe ich ja gerade schon gesagt und da finde ich halt, da sehe ich zum Beispiel den Unterschied zu einer Alicia Joe. Sascha hat mehrmals kritisiert, dass wenn man sich bei Nessie bewirbt, dann muss man ein Video hochladen, so ein kleines Bewerbungsvideo halt. Und wenn du das abschickst, dann musst du anscheinend noch unterschreiben, dass du halt alle Rechte an diesem Video unbegrenzt abgibst, dass damit auch geworben werden wird und so weiter. Und Real Talk, das ist der normalste Vertrag, den es gibt. Ja, es ist ja klar, dass wenn du dich jetzt bewirbst, du willst bei der Show mitmachen, nehmen wir mal an, du wirst genommen. Ja, natürlich möchte man dann auch in irgendwelchen Trailern oder in einem Intro oder sonst irgendwas mit dir werben, dass man sagt, hey, und Laura 23 ist auch mit dabei. Oh, Digga, gerade noch die Kurve gekriegt. Laura 23 ist auch mit dabei. Und das ist normal. Und es ist klar, dass man das nicht zeitlich begrenzt macht, weil sagen wir mal, da würden 5 Jahre drin stehen, dann müssten die entweder nach 5 Jahren zu dir Gedanke kommen und sagen, hey, ne, dürfen wir die Rechte weiter behalten, ansonsten müssen die alles löschen. Jedes Video muss gelöscht werden, überall, wo irgendwie mit dir geworben worden ist, bei Instagram, TikTok, im Fernsehen oder sonst irgendwas. Man muss dafür sorgen, dass das nie wieder ausgestrahlt wird. Das ist das Normalste auf der Welt. Und Sascha sagt halt 5-mal, ja, man muss das für immer abgeben. Das ist aber ganz schön doof. Sagt dann aber nicht, was wäre denn normal? Also guckt euch gerne meine Reaction an, weil die Frage habe ich auch gestellt und da habe ich mir so gedacht, jetzt bei der Frage, bei Alicia Joe, hätte sie nicht einfach nur gesagt, ja, das ist voll doof, dass man das für immer abgeben muss, sondern Alicia Joe hätte ganz klar gesagt, so hey, das ist nicht normal, dass man das für immer abgeben muss, guck mal, 10 Jahre sind der Durchschnitt. So, das heißt, Nessie übertreibt hier. So, das wäre dann wirklich ein Fakt, wo man sagen kann, okay, safe, so, die macht mehr, als eigentlich üblich ist. So, und das ist mir bei Sascha halt generell so aufgefallen. Das ist auch das Gleiche, soll jetzt kein Rant werden, ne? Aber nur, dass ihr das halt nachvollziehen könnt. Das sind also wie gesagt, sind die Videos trotzdem gut. Das sind so Kleinigkeiten, die mir einfach auffallen. Ne? Auch bei diesem Reich undankbar abgehoben, so Montes Wichtel-Drama zum Beispiel. Ich weiß, ich kämpfe da auf verlierendem Boden, weil die Leute wollen das einfach nicht wahrhaben. Dass es halt kein Schwanzvergleich gewesen ist, ja, weil wenn es einer wäre, dann hätte jeder Influencer tausende Euros abgegeben und hätte versucht, das beste und teuerste Geschenk zu haben. Ja, dass es natürlich so einen höheren Durchschnittspreis gibt, wenn sich da Millionäre bewichteln, ja Bro, das ist halt klar. Und das kann man von mir aus auch kritisieren, weil Leute haben auch gesagt, ja, spendet doch das Geld. Ja, könnte man auch machen, man könnte auch daraus eine Spendengala machen oder das auch direkt an Zuschauer verlosen oder so. Das sind alles Sachen, über die man diskutieren kann, Schwanzvergleich stimmt trotzdem nicht. So, auch da, also es ging ja quasi bei dem Titel Reich undankbar abgehoben. Ja, offensichtlich um die Influencer, die reich, undankbar und abgehoben sind. So, und alles, was sie in dem Video macht, sind 5 TikTok-Kommentare zu zeigen. Nicht mal von Creators, sondern von irgendwelchen Leuten. Ich habe den Sinn nicht verstanden von dem Titel, um ehrlich zu sein. So, und ne, das sind so Dinge, die irgendwie, weiß ich, relativ häufig passieren. Also ich habe das Gefühl, so die Videos sind irgendwie, die sind alle sehr gleich. So, also die baut immer was auf und man denkt jetzt, okay, jetzt kommt so eine krasse Aussage, aber die kommt irgendwie nicht. So, checkt ihr, was ich meine? Ja, und deswegen nehme ich da auf jeden Fall Alicia Joe. Dann Calcio Berlin versus Manu Thiele. Sehr, sehr schwierig, tatsächlich, sehr schwierig. Also Manu Thiele, für die Leute, die ihn nicht kennen, das ist ein Fußball-Meinungsblogger, der hat letztens auch ein sehr gutes Video über die WM in Katar gemacht. Ja, Calcio Berlin, weiß nicht, wie man die erklärt, das sind so 3 Jungs und Lukas. Lukas, geiler Typ übrigens, Digga, der beste Praktikant ever. So einen Praktikant hätte ich mal gebraucht. Ja, die machen auch so Fußballvideos, ne? Zum Beispiel machen die auch Frag Calcio, von mir geklaut logischerweise, ja, wo die halt Fußballfragen beantworten oder keine Ahnung, die machen auch Live-Watches zusammen und so weiter, haben auch noch ein paar andere Formate, wo es halt um Fußball geht. Und ich finde es tatsächlich ziemlich schwierig, weil Manu Thiele auch nicht so viele Videos hochlädt. Bei Manu Thiele ist halt das Ding, auch da übrigens, by the way, der hat immer die gleichen Phrasen. Ich hab's jetzt gerade nicht im Kopf. Ich glaube, was der immer sagt, ja, ist Sprichwort und dann sagt er halt was, oder ne, Sprichwort, Standpunkt irgendwie so und dann kommt immer so ein Wort. Stichwort Außenverteidiger. So jedes Mal, da müsst ihr mal drauf achten. Das ist mir irgendwann aufgefallen und seitdem, ich kriege das nicht mehr aus dem Kopf, mindestens 3-mal in einem Video, so, dass er das in irgendeinem Satz benutzt. Ich finde die Videos von Manu Thiele super, ich gucke die sehr gerne an. Es ist halt auch wieder sehr wie bei Alicia Joe, also super sachlich und super aufgearbeitet, Top-Wissen, 10 von 10, manchmal ein bisschen langweilig. Das ist halt so, das ist halt das Ding. Ne? Also man muss sich so, das ist so, wie sagt man, das könnte so im Fernsehen laufen, da ist alles langweilig. Bei Calcio Berlin ist so, weißt du, die machen mal so Späße und so weiter. Weiß ich, das klingt so falsch. Die kommen so ein bisschen mehr aus sich raus, die sind vielleicht so ein bisschen extrovertierter, was so Videos angeht. Ne? Wenn man sich so Frag Calcio anguckt, das macht halt immer irgendwer anders. Fair enough, muss ich auch leider sagen, die haben auch so eine Frau, die da mal Fragen beantwortet, die fühle ich am wenigsten, weil die mir zu ruhig ist einfach. Ja, nicht wegen dem Geschlecht, die hat ein Top-Wissen, wirklich. Ja, die weiß mehr von Fußball als ich, auf jeden Fall 100%ig so, das will ich hier gar nicht absprechen. Die ist aber so ruhig. So, kennt ihr das, weißt du, das so, als wenn ich jetzt hier so sitzen würde und ja, dann beantworte ich hier mal so ein bisschen die Fragen und ich will so gut rauskommen. So, bam, Digga, ich will Feuer sehen. Ja, Feuer in deinen Augen. So, aber ansonsten gucke ich von Calcio halt auch mehr. Wahrscheinlich auch prozentual mehr. Wobei, die machen halt auch viel mehr Videos. Es ist halt wirklich schwierig. Ich würde sogar Calcio Berlin, glaube ich, würde ich eher nach vorne nehmen, weil ich die auch mehr mitkriege. Ja, Manu Thiele macht halt nicht, also manchmal auch Videos, die mich persönlich vom Thema her nicht abholen. Ich gucke hier gerade mal, dass ich hier auch keinen Müll laber, was ich ja noch nie gemacht habe. Das WM-Video 10 von 10. Ja, davor Niklas Füllkrug. Stimmt, das wollte ich mir angucken. Das habe ich irgendwie verkackt, irgendwie zu gucken. Schalke 04, steigt man in die Bundesliga auf. Das sind alles an sich so interessante Themen, wenn ich so gucke, aber irgendwie beim Schauen habe ich dann irgendwann so aufgehört, weil die vielleicht auch ein bisschen zu lang waren. Deswegen, ich sage einfach mal Calcio Berlin. Imp vs. Alpha Kevin. Ja, bei Alpha Kevin muss ich sagen, ja, der hat mich ja letztens wieder so ein bisschen gefrontet gehabt, weil ich ja das Montewicht-Video hochgeladen habe und über diese dicke Cosplayerin. An dieser Stelle mal, Bruder, also Alpha Kevin, was zur Hölle geht bitte mit deinem Reaction-Kanal? Bruder, wirklich, der lädt 2, 3 Videos am Tag hoch und die laufen fast alle so unfassbar krank. Na, wobei jetzt in letzter Zeit nicht mehr, aber da so komplett random. Viele Videos haben so 10.000, 20.000 Aufrufe und dann so der komplette Absturz von Jeremy Fragrance, 40.000. Lerenfrau, gut, Lerenfrau läuft bei mir auch gut. Der neue Skandal von Joe Vogel, 50.000. Dann random neue Vorwürfe gegen Unge, 145.000 Aufrufe. Also sein Reaction-Kanal läuft so krank. Real Talk, ich check das nicht. Ich weiß nicht, wie der das macht. Das Ding ist, auf dem Hauptkanal